Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County, a program about your Morris County government. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Officer for the Morris County government. And on this segment of the program, we are going to be discussing some county government issues with my guest. He is Morris County Freeholder Doug Cabana. Freeholder Cabana has been on the Freeholder Board since 1997. He is a two-time director of the Freeholder Board, a former president of the New Jersey Association of Counties, and a resident of Boonton Township. Doug, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
As a freeholder for the past several years, you've been liaison to the Department of Planning and Development, to the Department of Law and Public Safety. As such, what can you tell us about the expansion project that is in progress with the Public Safety Training Academy?
Currently, we're expanding the academy to include a public safety communications center, which will house the Office of Emergency Management, the Sheriff's Crime Lab, and take care of the dispatch center for the county.
Why is the expansion needed? Why do we need additional space at that facility?
A number of reasons. First off, our crime lab is very antiquated. Our OEM area is very small, and as we know, many of the incidences that have happened just in the past year and a half have taxed the facility. And further, our communication center is in there, and the freeholders have made a commitment to expand the communication center to include dispatching services for all of our 39 towns.
Now, how is that going to be a benefit, dispatching for all 39 towns, or who is that going to benefit? Is it going to benefit the county, the towns, all of the above?
It will benefit everyone. It will benefit the taxpayers of the county. In 2006, the freeholders embarked on a shared services committee. It was comprised of mayors, business administrators, and council members. And the number one priority that came out of those committee meetings were communications. It's a very expensive undertaking for municipalities, and it's something where the technologies are changing so fast, it's very expensive to keep up with those technologies.
So by the county taking over the dispatching for some of the towns, it'll reduce the cost to those towns. The county's going to have to absorb that, I guess, but still the taxpayers locally are going to benefit.
Absolutely, yeah. And the towns who have come on board are saving significant money so far. They are paying for the service at this point, and the thought process is until all the municipalities fully join, there'll be a fee for the service. So it's a net zero to the county. So when a town comes on, they're paying for the cost of the dispatchers needed for their town, but there's still significant savings.
Okay, 39 towns in the county. Any idea approximately how many towns are currently on board?
Right now, there are 23 towns with full dispatch and 6 with 911 dispatch.
Okay. You talked about the Office of Emergency Management and the fact that another key component of the expansion is giving OEM a lot more room. Mm-hmm. Now, you were at the facilities during the recent storms over the past couple of years, Irene, Sandy, blizzards. Can you describe maybe a little bit of some of the things that actually go on with the OEM staff during these times of crisis?
Yes, this is the Emergency Operations Center for the entire county, and how OEM is set up through the state. The state OEM comes through the county, then the county goes to the towns. So we need to coordinate all of the essential services, all of our public works, law enforcement, the power companies, all human services activities. So it's quite a lot of activity in a very small space.
And during those storms, I believe there were representatives from all of those agencies that you mentioned, plus utilities, plus county government staff. It was elbow to elbow, was it not?
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, when you're spending long hours, and in the Sandy storm, the center was open for more than a week. I mean, 24/7. So you need the ability to not only conduct what the business you need to do, but also for these people that are staffing the center to sleep, to eat. I mean, they're eating at their desks, and there's not, on a cot somewhere in someone's office. I mean, the facility needs to be updated to be more suitable for the activity.
And I also understand that the county government's internal communication system, the computer network, the servers, they will also be stored there. It's going to be a facility that will be able to withstand 100-year storm?
Well, currently the county is housing its computers at different locations, and many of them are not secure. In fact, during Irene, when the substation in Morristown flooded, where the county servers were based in Morristown, everything went down. So we've been becoming more and more dependent on email as a means of communication during an event because people can get it on their handheld devices, their computers. And it just seems to be a more reliable, faster way of communicating. We had that problem there. We're hoping, or we will, I should say, when this is complete, provide its own backup generator, own thing, so we can be self-sustainable in the event of an emergency.
And the county's radio system, that also being upgraded?
That's also been upgraded and will be upgraded as part of this new facility. Much of it is coming from the federal government because they want these regional communication centers. I mean, that's a goal since 9/11 to have that because it's much easier to funnel the federal funding to those locations. And it's also just a better way of managing it in an emergency situation.
Is this project coming in on budget? I know that's always a big question that you're asked.
Well, the history of this project, when the initial project began, it was more than double the amount. It was approximately $44 million, and that was unacceptable to the freeholders. And we told our staff to go back to the drawing board and to come up with a project that is more in keeping with the budgetary constraints that we're all facing. The project was reduced to about $23 million, and we're right on budget at this point.
What is the projected completion date and operation date for the new facility?
It's going to be phased in, but it should be complete by the last quarter of this year.
Okay. Now, we're talking about budgets, and here in 2013, the freeholders adopted a county budget that reflects a 0% increase in county taxes. Doug, how was this able to be accomplished?
A couple things. Number one, for the past 5 years, the Freeholder Board has been moving towards, a zero-based budgeting, and department heads have had to come in and justify to the budget subcommittee why they want any increase, much less, keeping, and any monies that weren't used were returned. And it was kind of a change in thinking of the normal, or the way government thinks. If you spend it or you lose it, it hasn't been that way. And I think coupled with some of the reforms that the governor has enacted with regard to pensions, we were able to redo our health plan, which saved a significant amount of money, plus the reduction in staff. We've almost 450 people have or jobs have been reduced over the last couple years. And I think cumulatively, this has just allowed everything to come into place.
Yeah, and we should also mention that while there is a 0% increase in the county taxes, human services, vital services, essential services were not negatively impacted. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, there's no reduction in services, nor was there a reduction in surplus. Surplus is very important because the surplus allows us to maintain our AAA bond rating with the major rating agencies. It's nearly 40 years that Morris County has had that, and that's been a significant savings to the taxpayers of Morris County over these years.
Yeah. Now, you're also a member of the Freeholder Capital Budget Facilities Review Committee, and I understand the capital budget also came in lower than it has been in a couple of years. How was that able to be accomplished?
The Facilities Committee scrutinized the projects that were requested by the different departments. Again, most of what we do, it's capital improvements, and we need to maintain our infrastructure. We need to see that what we have is cared for properly, because in the long run, it's going to save a lot of money. This year's budget includes many bridge and road projects. It also includes the completion of the fields at the Central Park of Morris County, formerly the Greystone property, and pretty much we were able to bring it down several $1 million what it has been in the past.
Now, the freeholders this year have also reduced the tax used to fund the Preservation Trust Fund, which the money from that fund is used to preserve open space, protect our water resources, preserve historic sites, the county's new flood mitigation program. That tax was reduced, and I think the freeholders have also asked staff to develop some kind of a strategic plan as it relates to this program. What do you hope to get out of this plan?
Well, The fund has, at one point, was 4 cents on the dollar, or 100. And this, all of our open space has been approved by the voters of Morris County repeatedly. However, the demands for these projects have been reducing over time as we acquire more and more properties. The project has been expanded to include historic preservation sites. It has been expanded to include flood mitigation buyouts. The purpose now is to take a good look at what our needs are, what properties are available, what projects are going to be coming down the pike, so that we can take and make a long-term assessment of what the needs will be and adjust the fund accordingly.
Yeah. I don't want to leave the budget discussion without asking you about Morris View Healthcare Center, and especially the long-term care aspect of Morris View Healthcare Center. Does the budget provide for the services at Morris View? Because I know that has been a big concern of several taxpayers and family members who have relatives at Morris View.
Yeah, Morris View plays an important role in the county of Morris. It has been a long-time facility that has provided top quality care to our residents. This year's budget takes into account all of the needs of Morris View and its residents and will not sustain any cuts. It's going to be a challenge looking down the road because of the reductions from the federal government. But over the past few years, the freeholders have been proactive in looking at the operation there and looking for areas to save, looking at areas to privatize, to reduce the cost of the operation of the facility so that the care component can remain constant and no cuts to care.
Yeah. Freeholder Doug Cabana, I want to thank you very much for being with us today and talking about some county government issues. And I know we only just scratched the surface, but if you have a question about something that perhaps we did not discuss during this segment of the program, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office at 973-285-6010. And you can also visit the county government's website. It's morriscountynj.gov. And while you're there, why don't you sign up for the county's electronic newsletter, Morris County Connections. That will keep you up to date about what is going on in your county government. And also you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, view past programs on the county's YouTube channel, and take advantage of all of the other social media that Morris County government embraces. I'm Joe Garifo. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
That was awesome! Hey, buddy! Buddy, yeah, you. You just stole this car, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You did. No, don't worry, I'm not mad. Because you know what? I thought it was smooth. I thought it was a great crime. And you know what? Here you go, 100 G's right here, buddy. Right here, all yours. Make the anonymous call. 973-COP-CALL. No, actually, the crime fairy's on break. I took her place for a while.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we are going to focus on the Morris County Nutrition Project and the 15 midday friendship centers that are located all across Morris County. And here to tell us about the Nutrition Project and those midday friendship centers are my guests. First, to my left, is Frank Pinto. Frank is the director of the Morris County Department of Human Services, and seated next to Frank is Ophelia Cruz. Ophelia is the director of the Morris County Nutrition Project. Folks, welcome to the program.
Good to see you, Joe.
Frank, I'd like to start with you. Before we start talking about the Nutrition Project, you give us a little overview, if you will, of the Department of Human Services.
Certainly, and first it is the Department of Human Services, not Human Resources.
Right.
It is all of the social service programs that the county provides and administers for, it's a variety of projects. We have under the department is the Morris View Healthcare Center, which is a 283 licensed bed nursing facility, which has a new subacute service for people that are seeking to do rehabilitation for whatever kind of rehab they need done. We have the Juvenile Detention Center and youth shelters, both of which are a multi-county facility. We host, it's a shared service among Warren, Hunterdon, and Sussex counties. We also have the Office of Temporary Assistance, which administers all of the welfare, food stamp, general assistance programs, and Medicaid. In addition, Ophelia is part of the Division on Aging, Disabilities, and Veterans. That has many different components helping seniors and disabled folks, as well as behavioral health and youth services and employment and training programs that provide mental health services and administer grants for mental health programs. So it's a wide variety of services and is the county's largest department.
Yeah, and just for our viewers, if you check out the Human Services Department's website, we'll give you that address at the end of the program, you can learn a lot more about each one of those divisions and offices that Frank just mentioned. But let's turn to the Nutrition Project now. And Ophelia, tell us a little bit about the Nutrition Project, how long it's been in existence, and what specifically its purpose is.
Sure. The Nutrition Project has been in existence in Morris County for well over 35 years. It started as a grassroots concern nationwide in reference to having the seniors have nutritious meals so they can stay at home, live longer, and not worry about how I'm going to feed myself, how I'm going to afford this.
Now, the Nutrition Project in Morris County provides meals, some home-delivered meals, and also they have, I believe there's 15 locations. They're called Midday Friendship Centers throughout Morris County where seniors can go and get a nutritious meal. Frank,
right.
What goes on at the nutrition sites besides the meals?
We also call them congregate sites,
okay.
Where seniors can come out and do a lot of socialization. They'll have line dancing, bingo, arts and crafts, and health screenings and educational programs. I will be going out to a couple sites today telling them about the Morrisview Healthcare Center, so they can get that socialization while they're having their meals. The sites are all over, from Butler to Mount Olive to Long Hill and Chatham, Dover, and many other places in between. So there's one near just about every senior in the county.
Yeah. Ophelia, who is eligible to attend the Midday Friendship Centers?
Any senior that's over the age of 60 can attend.
Now, are these, and Frank I think may have alluded to it, can we say that the centers are regional in nature? In other words, if I don't have one in my town, but the next town over has one, can I go to that?
Absolutely,
center?
absolutely. We have some sites that are open 5 days a week, and there are others that may be open 2 or 3 days a week. So the people who go to the sites that are open 2 or 3 days a week, for the other days, they might choose to go to a neighboring site. For instance, Madison is open 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So that particular person might say, okay, Tuesday and Thursday, what I'm going to do? They can go to the neighboring site in Chatham and go and participate and enjoy a good meal and socialization.
Yeah, and again, in terms of the locations of the nutrition centers, the Midday Friendship Centers, you can also find the specific sites and locations and the hours of operation on the Human Services website. And again, we'll be giving you that address toward the end of the program, so you might want to get ready for that. Now, Ophelia, the locations, I believe one of the sites, specifically a site in Chatham Township, is a new site, not new to Chatham Township, but the location has changed.
Correct.
Where is the new location now in Chatham Township?
The new location opened up April 2nd, and it's located at the Presbyterian Church of Chatham Township, 240 Southern Boulevard in Chatham Township. Brand new facility, it's beautiful, opening airy, and we've gotten great response from that area.
When we talk about the nutrition sites, approximately how many meals are served at the congregate sites during the course of a year?
Okay, in 2012, we served over 130,000 meals to about a little less than 1,000 seniors.
What can you tell us about the menus?
Oh, the menus vary. They can range from chili, pot roast, a vegetarian meal, pastas, salads. We try to do something special for each holiday. For St. Patty's Day, we might have corned beef. For Easter, Passover, we have something kosher. So we try to cover the wide range of diversity that we have in Morris County.
Frank mentioned some of the programs besides the meals that the seniors take advantage of once they go to the Midday Friendship Centers. How involved are the folks who frequent the centers? How involved are they in putting some of these programs, the educational programs, social programs together?
We go by their input. They alert the site manager, this is what we want to see, and the site manager does the research. If they want to have a health screening, the site manager might call a local nursing organization, like say, for instance, Visiting Nurse, to have a nurse come out and do blood pressure screenings, education, in reference to maybe Medicare systems. Will contact volunteers of Morris County to come out. We have a plethora of information located within our own department that we can use to offer these things to the seniors.
Is there a charge for attending the Midday Friendship Centers?
There is no charge at all. We just ask for a small donation of $2 if you're capable.
Okay. Now, Frank, we also mentioned the meals that are delivered to seniors who are homebound. How does this program work?
It's tied in directly with the whole congregate meal program, in that the food is delivered in bulk to each of the congregate sites. The congregate managers and the workers at each site prepare the individual hot meals for delivery to the homes. That is the major part of our whole program, and really the most important component. People that are homebound are assessed to make sure that they really do need home delivery. So these folks are frail. They're in their homes. We want to keep them there to avoid institutionalization if we can. And the hot meal is a very important component to that. So the meals are actually prepared by the site managers and individually boxed and prepared, put on what are called hot shot trucks, so they are kept at a food safe temperature until they're delivered to the homes. In total, Joe, that's over 350,000 meals a year. So that the entire nutrition program, it's over 500,000 meals that are prepared.
So now what happens, Frank, let's say on a weekend for the folks who have the home delivered meals? Are they provided for on a weekend? Or?
Yes, they are. There's a special and a specific home delivered meal program on the weekends. Yes.
Okay. The now, who delivers? Do you always look for volunteers? Do you ever look for volunteers to assist? Maybe not with the home delivered meals, but let's say at the congregate sites. Do you ever need folks to come in and just give a helping hand?
We do have some. Sometimes we have scouts that come in and help church organizations that want to follow through on some religious requirements. They come in and volunteer. But most of our sites are run and serviced by county employees.
Okay.
We have 46 full-time and about 23 part-time workers.
Okay. I want to get back to the home delivered meals because in recent years we've seen, not only here in Morris County, but New Jersey, the area, has been hit by a number of storms that we haven't been used to, from Irene to Sandy to blizzards.
Yeah.
What has the county been able to continue to deliver home delivered meals during these storms, and if so, how?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. We do some pre-planning for every type of storm to make sure that we either deliver the meals in advance of the storm, we either also provide shelf-stable meals so that we can avoid a day of delivery during a bad storm. In fact, that's what we did for Sandy. However, with Sandy, with all the tree damage, we still had to get out and get those meals delivered. I really commend the nutrition program staff. Nobody missed a meal during that storm, and Ophelia, there was a great quote that she had in the paper that she didn't get her mail for a few days, but the seniors sure got their meals. And it's a real testament to the commitment of the staff to getting those meals delivered. They know how important it is for those seniors getting those meals.
Yeah, and Ophelia, I know many times when a home delivered meal is presented, the folks who actually do the deliveries, they can pick up on things that perhaps others might not. In other words, maybe there's something that's not quite right here at this home at this particular time. Has that ever occurred?
Absolutely. We call the drivers the gatekeepers of the community because they're the first people. We're kind of like a first responder. They're the first people that actually see a person deteriorating. And if that's the case, they immediately call the site manager. The site manager will call my office, and I in turn call case management to make sure someone goes out and checks on the welfare of that person. Usually the driver goes in, sees what's in the refrigerator, open up the meals for the person so they can sit there and eat. And while they're eating, they'll get a brief, find out how they're doing, and they go from there.
Yeah, and many times that might be the only contact that the individual will have with someone during the course of the day.
That's true.
Yeah. How is this program funded?
Through a variety of sources. We are a combination of federal, state, and county dollars that provide for us.
The Older Americans Act is the federal dollars. that provides the funding.
But now you mentioned county dollars as well, and I understand that the freeholders over the years have been very supportive of the program and making sure that the congregate sites and the home delivered meals programs are adequately funded. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, they've been very supportive of the whole program over the years, certainly.
Now, if someone wanted additional information about the Morris County Nutrition Project, perhaps the sites, we mentioned there are 15 of them, there are just too many to list, but you can go to the Morris County Department of Human Services website, and that is morrishumanservices.org. That's all one word, morrishumanservices.org. And again, as I say, you can find the locations, you can find the hours of operations for the midday friendship centers, and you can also find out a lot of information about all of those other divisions that are within the Department of Human Services. If you want to call the Nutrition Project, you can do that as well at 973-285-6856. You can also call Morris County's Aging and Disability Resource Connection. You will actually get a live person who will answer the phone there. That is a referral service for any human services need that you might have. That number is 1-800-564-4656. Frank Pinto, Ophelia Cruz, thank you very much for
Always
being
good
with
to
us
see you,
today.
Joe.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office, and that number is 973-285-6010. You may also visit the county government's website at morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, why don't you sign up for the county's electronic newsletter? That will keep you up to date on county government news. And also, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check out past programs on the county's YouTube channel, and you can do so much more with the county's social media. I'm Joe Garifo. I want to thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time for another edition of Focus on Morris County.